Hello friends, this is Coop from Garage Gym Reviews, and today is a long-awaited review, this time on the Rep AB 5000 Zero Gap Adjustable Bench. I have had this bench for probably going on 2 years, maybe 3 years. Ever since it was released, I got it right when it was released. I've used it up to that point. We've also used it in our commercial training facility. We've gotten a lot of opinions on it. We've used and abused it, and now I want to tell you what it's like after owning it for that amount of time. Let's get into the review. So Rep Fitness has by and large been innovating a lot in the weight bench space. They are coming out with a lot of unique designs specifically for home gym owners and those that want to have space-saving designs, versatile designs in a home gym. And this is probably Rep's magnum opus. Their creme de la creme, the top of the top, their best option. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean it's my favorite option. They have some others out there that I really like, such as a review we've done on the Rep AB 5200. However, by and large, this is the one that they claim, this is their claim, not mine, they claim this is the best adjustable bench on the market, bar none. They don't say anything about price, they just say this is the best adjustable bench on market. Is it the best adjustable bench on market? Well, it's pretty good. Here's what's good about it. Number one is the frame. It's extremely beefy. That's right, it's a beefy frame. So they're using, I believe it's a 2x4 frame underneath that's made of 11 gauge steel. 2x4, not like a 2x4 you get at Home Depot that's actually a 1x3 or something like that. This is an actual 2x4 metal frame. The reason that's nice and the reason that's worth commenting on is because this bench is extremely stable. One reason it's extremely stable is obviously because of the 2x4 frame and the spine that runs down all the way down the middle, which harkens to the original Nebula Awesome bench that Rogue eventually bought and redesigned as the Rogue AB3. However, this has a similar like arcing spine on the back, but the other reason this thing is so stable is because of how freaking heavy it is. This is a very heavy bench at around, I think, 115 pounds. 115 pounds for an adjustable bench means it's somewhat awkward to move around your gym. However, when it's in place, it feels like it's bolted down. Personally, I would rather have a bench that's a little bit heavier, so it's more stable, than it be a little bit lighter and more difficult to move around. So because of that, I really like how stable it is. When you're using it for flat bench, it feels very similar to flat bench, but then can be used for an adjustable bench and still feels very solid. Now, Rep took the same thing they've done with their other benches and made the height very similar. So the IPF standard for benches is 17 inches from the floor. Most adjustable benches are 19 inches or higher. That makes it okay for when you're doing incline press, decline press, those sorts of movements. However, it's not that great to be used as a flat bench. So what most people do, most home gym owners, is they have a dedicated flat bench and they have an adjustable bench. So the 17 3/4 inch height of the bench allows you to put your feet under and then arch your back like you would on a normal flat bench. That is ideal for most home gym owners because having a bunch of extra real estate taken up by an extra flat bench that could be utilized simply by the adjustable bench you've already got is something that should happen already. And that's why this height works and why I like it. In addition to that, the adjustment points on this is using a pin pop style. A pin pop style is a more secure version than the typical ladder style. However, it's not as quick to move. So it's not like it's like, takes a ton of time. You just pull this pop pin and then pull it up, but it is a two-hand operation. So for you guys with one arm or people that don't want to use both of your arms, a ladder style system is probably superior than the typical pop pin two-handed system that goes like this. However, once it's in place, it locks further and stronger. The reason being is it's just using the holes on this spine, and the spine is a thick enough gauge steel that it also doesn't wobble side to side a ton. Basically, this bar right here doesn't flex. That doesn't mean it doesn't wobble at all because the internals don't have the tightest tolerance and they're not as tight as I think they should be. I'll show you that here in a moment. However, it doesn't move a crazy amount. And then to the most remarkable section on the AB 5000, and the reason it's been dubbed by the company, the zero gap. And the reason is because there is supposedly zero gap between the seat pad and the back pad. But because we're all here and we're scientific, I brought my handy dandy digital caliper to determine, is there actually a zero gap? Yep, zero gap. Okay, the zero gap system is nice because it allows you to run the seat pad all the way shoved up into the back pad and have as flat of a surface as possible. I've talked about this with the flat bench, being able to use your adjustable bench as a flat bench. That's why this works. And the way it works is on bearings. You pull this pop pin right here, you can then slide it forward or back. So if you're a guy that really likes a lot of gap in your bench, you can absolutely damage your spine. Or if you're somebody that doesn't want any gap, you can close it in tight. But really that's ideal. The reason it's nice to move is you can keep the gap closed all throughout the degrees of the back pad. So watch this. We are flat. It's here. If I want to move this up, here, rather than having a gap sitting there, I can shove this bad boy all the way back, another zero gap. If I want to do it again, even higher, I can go up to like a 85 degrees. There's a zero gap. Or if I want to go down to like a 65 degrees, I can then pull this and pull it back, and there's still zero gap. This, when it came out, was, I don't know if it was revolutionary, but it was quite evolutionary. I'm surprised more companies haven't copied it because it is a really nice functionality. It's a bit annoying because it is a bit heavy, and so it can be a bit more difficult to move. However, when this is locked in, it's still pretty stable. As you can see, it's not like the most stable, but it's pretty stable when you put a lot of weight on it, and it still allows you to quickly pull this and pull it forward and move throughout the range of motion. That is the most remarkable feature of the bench, and the reason it's called the zero gap, and the reason it's so popular. Now, do you want to pay additional for that feature? You will decide that. However, from my vantage point, I like it. I don't know if it's so remarkable that it's worth paying the extra $100 or so difference between their AB5100 and this version. However, if you do notice a gap in the adjustable benches you've used, this will definitely be a feature that you like. Just understand that it adds weight quite a bit to the front, which makes it more difficult to move. In addition to the front seat pad is the front foot. As you'll see, the front foot is basically made so that it can be very stable. So they have this piece that comes out in addition to the pieces that comes to the side. The reason that that's kind of a smart feature is there's a triangle gap here that you can put your feet in when you're benching or doing some sort of arch movement. That is a pretty smart feature rather than just having it take up a ton of space or these come out really far. It keeps the front pretty compact while also providing extra stability. And the reason you want extra stability is because this bench doubles as a decline bench. So no folks, it's not just flat bench, but wait, there's more. It's not just adjustable incline, it's also decline. So if you're somebody that likes to do decline bench, or you want to do decline sit-ups, you can add this attachment, lock it in, tighten her down, and then you can use the bench pad as a decline bench or decline sit-up bench. To me, that's not a feature I do a ton because I don't do a ton of decline bench, mainly because the bottom of my pec is absolutely massive already, so I don't need to do a ton of them. However, if you're somebody that lacks girth in the lower of your pec, you may appreciate doing decline bench on this or doing decline sit-ups. And that's why this feature is nice and something that's not offered in most adjustable benches. And it's really the only one offered within Rep's lineup because the AB5200, although stands up, doesn't have this. Lastly, the other thing to remark on, and this is something that they don't talk about within their marketing, is the fact that although this isn't designed to stand up, the back of this is flat enough and is even enough with the wheels that it stands up really well. And thanks to the wheel guards that are on here, it can stand up and hold its space pretty well. So it doesn't have a flat stand like is seen on the AB5200. However, the back pad as well as the wheel locks, they make a pretty good surface so it can stand up fine. So all in all, in my opinion, this is one of, if not the best value adjustable benches on the market. I mean, it's a very unique bench. It's got a lot of positive features. It's obvious they went to the drawing board and said, hey, how can we make the most feature-filled bench available? This is pretty much it. It's at a good price point. This version here is the older version, which has a different top. They've since updated the top to reflect what they're doing across all their benches that has their grippy pad. Same thing as seen on the Rep AB5200 as well as the FB5000. It's a good grippy pad. The foam is firm. It's got nice edge control. It's not super comfy, but it gives you a really solid place to bench against. And they also offer a wide pad now. I mean, this is really one of the best benches that's available. And it's not crazy priced. At 540 bucks or so, plus shipping, like honestly, when you compare that to the market for like this level of bench, it's pretty competitive. So personally, I love the AB 5000. I think it's a fantastic bench. I love the zero gap. For most people, I think you get by with the 5100. However, I like to be Gucci, so I like the little gap. All right, this Coop from Garage Gym Reviews. What do you think of the bench? Is it one that you'd get? Do you have it? Do you like it? Let me know in the comments. We'll see you next time. Peace.